The last thing that comes to your mind while you are gardening is that you are going to find a coin which is old for 7 centuries. But this is exactly what happened to this young girl. However, the girl did not even think that the police would come to her house several years later just because she found a coin. Kate Harding, a British citizen, was about 9 years old when she had been helping her mom in their garden. The girl had been playing with the dirt, just like every other kid, but this had led to her finding one old silver coin. But what happened when Kate found this coin in her garden? When Kate found the coin, she hid it from her parents and decided to keep this treasure a secret. Since the coin was very dirty and worn, Kate thought it had been under the ground for a very long time, so she went into her room and cleaned the coin behind shut doors. Like every other kid, Kate spent a week obsessing over the new discovery, but when she got bored, she hid the coin in her dresser drawer and completely forgot about it. She had no idea that this treasure will come back to haunt her after so many years. But what kind of haunting? While being only 9, she did not think of the old coin a lot. Anyway, the girl saved it and never said a word to anyone about her discovery. After so many years, Kate was preparing for college, so she was moving out of the house. While getting ready, she found the coin in her drawer. Just a few months after Kate found the coin in the garden, something devastating happened to her. The young girl lost her mother. She passed away. So, finding the coin in the drawer brought back a good memory of her mother, one of the last ones she had with her. Of course, finding this coin turned Kate's life around. She kept the coin as a reminder of her beloved mother and their days spent working in their garden. Even though she did not say a thing about the coin, it was still a memory. Anyway, 14 years later, Kate got much more interested in the coin. When Kate was a young girl, she did not know anything about the coin. Of course, as every kid, she thought it did not have value. But, now as an adult, she felt that she could find out more about this treasure. She was very curious and decided to discover the mystery behind the old coin. When she was 23-year-old, she wanted to reveal where does the coin come from, and what is its story. Even though it was just a piece of metal, it really made her curious and puzzled her. She had so many questions in her mind, and she wanted to get answers as soon as possible. The following day, Kate visited the local museum in the town and looked for the help of some experts. The girl told them the story of how she found the coin, and she told them that now, she wants to know the real story behind the coin. Will her curiosity bring her any good? When Kate went to the museum, she was looking for answers to her questions. She just wanted to know what story hides the coin. Her curiosity led her to the museum in the first place. Sadly, it never crossed Kate's mind that she may get into a lot of trouble than she could possibly imagine. When Kate was at the museum, she took the coin out of her bag. Then, the professional took the coin and looked at this rare finding. It was a special piece. A few seconds later, the professional told Kate some surprising news. She did not see this coming at all. The professional explained Kate that the thing she found before many years was not a coin exactly. What is then? It was something totally different and valuable. Kate was taken by surprise about this news. She was even more curious of what is the story behind that metal. So, she wanted to learn more. That day, before she arrived at the museum, Kate was sure that it was a coin, but now it is not. Kate felt totally confused. Although this metal was not used as a currency, it still had huge worth. More than she ever thought. If only the girl she was back then knew this. As a matter of fact, in the United Kingdom were found only 4 of these metal coins. Some may suppose that this is great news, but that is not the case. There was something happening, something bad, and Kate was unable to escape it. She was destined to learn the truth. Kate got information by the professional that her finding is not a coin, but it is a piedfort. But what is a piedfort? It looks like a coin, but it weighs about twice as much as a coin. Also, piedforts are double as thick. So, what is going to happen with the coin next? Kate believed that the metal was a coin, but it was not. So, that is understandable mistake. She mistook the piedfort as a coin, and anyone could make this mistake. Now, Kate became even more curious about the history of the piedfort and why it was buried in her backyard. When Kate learned that the coin was worth a lot of money, she became very excited. If you are a student with so many loans, you would understand her situation. This piedfort may make her life much easier now, and she would not need to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. Any person in Kate's shoes would be overly excited for getting the money from the coin she found in her garden. Since she found it, she thought the earnings were all hers. But is she going to take the profit and have a better life? Or was it all a misunderstanding? Although professionals in the field still need to find out the purpose of piedforts, there is a theory that they were used as guides for mint workers. Also, they may have been used for reckoning counters for officials. Piedforts are valuable, but the experts still have not discovered the history behind their value. Kate learned that this was an object which was old 7 centuries. Can you imagine that? Holding in your hands something old 700 years. Amazing. She felt so confused, even though she should have paid more attention to the things they had to tell her in order to understand better. Kate's coin turned out to be a commemorative object that put a mark on the ascension of Charles IV to the French throne back in 1322. This is a very interesting information that tells us the coin had an important historical value. Also, it probably had a huge worth, as it does today. The worth of the rare piedfort was estimated to $3,000. This was a hard decision for Kate. She immediately thought of everything she could do with the money, but the object was kind of priceless to her. Remember, one of her last memories with her mother? And we have only one mother. Since this piedfort's sentimental value is much greater than the materialistic one, will Kate keep it? After all, she kept it all this time because she felt closer to her beloved late mother. Maybe she will forget about the money and will save it as a nice memory of her mom. Sadly, the case was different. Maybe the coin held sentimental memories for Kate, but the police of England did not. The authorities wanted to get the coin from Kate because of its immense historical value. Probably we could see this coming. Nothing is that simple in England. What is going to happen next? Well, Kate could not understand why the authorities were so interested in only one coin. But at the same time, the authorities did not understand the reason why the girl held on to it so much. This was definitely a messy situation. One could not anticipate the end. What was going to happen to Kate? Kate was advised by the Ludlow Museum that she should allow the local coroner learn about her discovery, so they would be able to examine it better and begin negotiations. Of course, their aim was to purchase this coin off her. Will they do that? Will Kate lose her special coin? Nevertheless, Kate decided to keep the piedfort. She just continued her life and ignored the request. She even believed that they will forget about it, but she was wrong. Who forgets something valuable like this? Is Kate future safe now? What is going to happen to her and the coin? Kate could not find her peace. The museum constantly sent her letters about the coin. And that was not all. The staff of the museum called her each and every day. But she ignored them because she was not interested in selling the coin that reminded her of her late mother. Anyway, Kate was aware that she would not be able to ignore the phone calls forever. Sooner or later, she would have to face the consequences. Soon, Anthony Sibsey, a South Shropshire coroner, was alerted about the entire situation with the coin. Is he going to help her? Or not really? When Kate opened the door, the police were at her doorstep. They informed her that she needs to show up in court. The girl was completely confused. She was asking herself if she had done anything wrong. According to Kate, the coin was hers since she was the one who found it. Well, Kate did not know that the law said differently. In fact, Kate never knew that there was a law about old coins. Especially when she was a young girl, she knew nothing of laws in this type of problems. The poor girl felt like she was in a very difficult situation and there was no way out. Things went too far. Kate never thought that she would be the first person who is going to be prosecuted under the Treasure of Act of 1996. It never crossed her mind that things would escalate this much. All she ever wanted was to learn more about a coin she found when she was a little girl. The Parliament of the UK created this Act of 1996. The Act said that anyone who finds any type of object that may be a treasure needs to report its finding. And this law is legally binding. So, what is going to happen to Kate now since she did not know about the Treasure Act? Furthermore, according to the Treasure Act of 1996, anyone who finds an object older than 3 centuries that contains 10% precious metals, and it is not a coin, must report it to the coroner in a period of 2 weeks, 14 days. Kate probably should have learned more about law. Kate Harding is not a criminal. She did not do this. In fact, the girl had no idea that the coin was a piedfort, and she did not know about the law. Can they blame her? Can they put her in jail for just not knowing? She was just a young girl playing in the garden. Kate's deed was considered to be a criminal offense. Sad, but true. They took her offense very seriously because she did not report the old coin, and she did not want to give it up. So, is she innocent? Who is right in this complicated case? Will Kate face prison? This girl felt as she was helpless. But can you imagine being in her place? The feeling must have been awful. All she wanted was for her mother to be there and give her some advice. Kate Harding got arrested, prosecuted, and she may be sentenced up to 3 months in prison. Anyway, Kate was lucky to have hired a good lawyer, Brendan Reedy. This lawyer seemed willing to help Kate because he had a lot of experience in representing clients at the police station, court of appeal, magistrates' courts, and crown courts. He was determined to help Kate Harding. So, is Kate going to be freed? The good news for Kate was that she has a good lawyer. Fortunately, the lawyer was on her side, and he decided to help her and fight for her against authorities. So, what do you think is going to happen? Will they win the case? Will Kate keep her coin? The lawyer said that Kate did not report her finding due to her disorganization as well as its sentimental value. Of course, when she found the coin, she was only 5 years old, she could not do it then. Actually, the lawyer told the truth, he did not lie to the court. Both the lawyer and Kate hoped that this was going to be enough to let her get out of the messy situation. They were both aware that courts can be extremely tough when they are interested in something as valuable as this, so they just needed to wait, only time would tell. Even after being aware of the law, Kate admitted that she did not report the coin to the coroner. Yes, this was not a smart move, but Kate was pretty close to her mother, so that treasure really meant something for her. It reminded her of gardening with her beloved mom. Even beside all of the things that happened, Kate wanted to keep the coin that she found. Yes, it was rare and valuable, but to her it was priceless, so she did not care about anything else. The sentimental value was the most important thing to her. She loved her mother very much. The coin was the only thing she had from her mom, thus the object was priceless to her. Kate was aware that she may go after it even after being cleared of the charges. Is this a smart move to make? What is Kate's next step? Maybe Kate is being tenacious. After a long and exhausting battle, Kate was set free under a conditional discharge. She just needed to pay $30 toward her legal fees. Nonetheless, the case for Kate was not all that happy because she still did not have any rights to keep the coin. She strongly believed it was her property. When the things were over, Kate decided to do what she should have done a long time ago. Finally, the girl went to talk to the coroner about something that happened. They did not know that she would surprise them in such a way. What is the surprise this time, Kate? Kate was offered $3,000 for that object by the Ludlow Museum. That is a huge sum of money. But her explanation was that she had lost it when she went to talk to the coroner. That is the reason why the museum never got the piedfort. Did she lie? The authorities did not handle this delicate situation, so the public was outraged. Since when did museums become law enforcers? I too would ignore threatening letters from a bunch of collectors. This means Kate was not alone in the way she was feeling. There were people out there who supported her strongly. They took this woman to court over a coin. This is ridiculous. I'm all for preserving English heritage, but, quite rightly, this is her property. People could not believe that they sued this woman over a coin. Of course, there should have been a better way of solving this case instead of suing. One person said, "What happened to possession is 9/10 of the law." Then, another one said this, "That is crazy. She found it fair and square, why does she have to give it up?" Well, people were probably right about this, but what could one do against the law in a strong country? The people did not let this do easily. There were some questions about this. For example, Coventry man Allen asked an excellent question, "I can't understand how she could be found guilty. If the find was in 1996, did it occur before or after the Treasure Act came into force? Is it possible for the prosecution to prove the date of the discovery of the coin? Probably not. Anyway, the museum was determined to do whatever it takes to get the piedfort. They wanted it so badly, so they simply saw neither limits nor boundaries. What is coming next? Is Kate safe? There were even more questions coming from people. Coventry man Allen continued, "Secondly, if it took place 14 years ago, she was only 9 years old. What was the age of criminal responsibility at the time? For juveniles under the age of 15, the prosecution would still have to prove that she knew that the act was seriously wrong." Allen put an end with, "As the magistrate's appalling ignorance of the law has given her a criminal record, I think she should appeal before a real judge." This sentimental coin made things very serious and gone too far. Only coin kept because of sentimental reasons made such a chaos. The question is, did Kate really lose the coin she had for such a long time? Probably not, but she was just determined to keep the reminder of her mother. Well, the love of her mother was strong enough to make her do even the impossible. Kate wanted to win even by hiding the truth. Kate was determined to do whatever it takes to keep the coin. She was probably very upset too. Well, we cannot blame her. After all, it was very dear to her and it reminded her of her late mother. Maybe we would do the same if we were in her shoes. If we were in her shoes, maybe we would have done the same thing to save that piece of treasure. The museum should not force her to give up something that she had found in her garden when she was just a young girl and something that was very dear to her. When Kate said she had lost the coin, the authorities finally stopped tormenting her. It was finally peaceful for this poor girl. She deserved to be peaceful. It was a real torture. On the other hand, the museum would not be able to examine, so this is going to stay a mystery. Kate could exchange the coin for $3,000, but the money would be spent and nothing would be left of it. In this way, if she did not really lost it, but kept it hidden, she may pass it on to the next generations. Her children and grandchildren would be happy to have such a valuable memory. After going through so much trouble, we really hope that Kate managed to keep the coin and hid it well enough on some place where only she would be able to find it. And from time to time remind herself of the beautiful moments she spent in the garden with her mother. There are things that neither money could buy,